I'm Jennifer Ledwith of Scholar Ready, and welcome to this SAT reading and writing tutorial. This video focuses on answering a details question. Here's today's item along with its question and answer choices. And you may think that I'm going to just dive right in and start reading the passage, but I'm going to do something else first. The first thing I'm going to do on questions like these is read the question. Here we go. According to the text, what was a function of the Signal Corps during World War II? Second thing I'm going to do is break the question down so I can understand it. So let's break it down. First of all, according to the text. Now, many of you are probably familiar with World War II, having studied it in school, or maybe you've seen it in a video or in a movie. That's great that you have that background knowledge. At the same time, you have to make sure that you stay on the page and answer and respond to what the text is telling you about this particular subject. Next part, what was a function? So what did the Signal Corps do during World War II? Let's define the words to refine our understanding of the text. Notice the highlighted words in the text. Those are there because they may be words that you may be familiar with but don't quite know the meaning of, or words that are completely new to you. And I want to make sure that we define those and refine your understanding. Okay, so let's begin. During World War II, the Signal Corps, like the other technical services, served the Army in a special way. The commodity it handled is less obvious than food or clothing, less spectacular than bridge building, and less gratefully received than medical care. So commodity. Commodity is a raw material that can be bought or sold. For example, oil, coffee, gold, cotton. So that's the commodity. So they handled some type of raw material, or so to speak, for the Army. As the Army's communications agency, the Signal Corps had specific duties in the field: the installation, maintenance, and operation of all signal communications within armies, within Army, Armored and Cavalry Corps, and within infantry, cavalry, motorized, and armored divisions. They included provision of the communication. So provision means to supply something for use. So you can think about making something available, or they provided. So they included provision of the communications. They provided communications required at the headquarters of each of these units for their respective Army, Corps, and division troops and installations. So respective means belonging separately to two or more people or things. In other words, they provided the communications to the right group. So they made sure the right communications went to the right group. And for communicating with the next lower and adjacent headquarters. And adjacent means next to. Next, I'm going to answer the question in my own words. When I answer the question in my own words, I'm going to then pull up the multiple choice, and I'm going to match the multiple choice with my own words. The multiple choices that best match my words, that multiple choice will be the correct answer. All right, so let me demonstrate. All right, so the question again, according to the text, what did the Signal Corps do during World War II? Okay, so according to the text, it handled, it was the Army's communications agency. It handled the installation, the maintenance, and operation of all signal communications within Army. So it made sure that the Army's communication was good. Now that I put the answer in my own words, I'm going to go to the multiple choice. But before I really examine the multiple choice, I'm going to define and refine. Notice our highlighted word here is distinguished. Distinguished means to set apart. And sometimes it could be to set above. Maybe you're distinguishing one person from an upper class, a person from upper class to lower class. It could be something like that. So I'll show you how it works in answer choice D. Designing uniforms that distinguished infantry and cavalry soldiers from each other. So that means that this group designed uniforms that helped people to look at a soldier in infantry uniform and a soldier in cavalry uniform and understand that, hey, like, and understand and be able to recognize, hey, this is a person in the infantry, this is a person in the cavalry, because they were able to distinguish. The uniforms help to distinguish. All right, now I'm going to take the multiple choice and match it to my answer. Again, my answer is the Signal Corps. The function of the Signal Corps was communications. That organization was responsible for making sure that the Army's communication system was good to go. All right, let's look at the answer choices. A, communicating upcoming medical procedures to wounded soldiers. No, that doesn't sound like what I said. B, repairing technology that allowed Army leaders to share information with each other. Yes, that sounds like what I said. So B is probably the answer, but let's look at the other two. C, maintaining roads that the Army needed for transporting supplies. No. And then D, designing uniforms that distinguished infantry and cavalry soldiers from each other. All right, the one that best matches what I said is B. So let's see what the answer is. And the correct answer is B. B as in boy, repairing technology that allowed Army leaders to share information with each other. If you want more tips on how to answer questions like this, visit the rest of my YouTube channel. Also, you can visit www.scholarready.com to learn more about how we can help you boost your scores, because you know that higher scores open doors. I'm Jennifer Ledwith of Scholar Ready.